Hey, this is Frontosa Cichlids and more. In this video we're looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly, the Frontosa Aquarium tour. So stay tuned for this great footage video with lots of information that you don't want to miss. So stay tuned. Alright, we'll start off the video with the 125. They're looking good. There's actually some purple coloration coming out every once in a while. The coloration of the fish are looking great, the Frontosas. All of them are looking good, especially since the substrate buffer has been added. You see the substrate down there, that's Argonite. So right now I have plenty of Frontosas. I have one breeding project going on. What I would like to happen here is for some breeding action to happen. But what I want is actually Synodontis. The Synodontis catfish, what they do is they lay their eggs at the same time as other cichlids do. And then the cichlids pick up the eggs thinking that they're theirs. And then we have some Synodontis raised by the Frontosas as far as the period in the mouth. It goes over pretty good, so hopefully this would be the first time that would happen with my breeding experience, and I would like to have more Synodontis. That would be great. I have plenty of Frontosas, but for now I would like to have lots more Synodontises. I'm pretty sure there's a male and a female in this aquarium because one's larger than the other one. The other one's probably in a cave. Let me focus in a little bit better here. There's a few males in this aquarium. That one's a really, actually a little bit better looking one than the alpha male. But the alpha male, if you see right here, does have good coloration. The barring on the one side's not the best, but the fins get blue and purple. So I'm very happy with the coloration of my Frontosas on this. He's a healthy fish. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is Whopper. And Whopper is the one that bred and had the offspring of Changer. So that will be impressive. That is a possibility that I would save some fry from this aquarium just to see if there's any like Changer. There's the other Synodontis. You see the two of them there. So let's go ahead and not beat around the bush. And let me tell you about the pH. So I'm trying to do some pH awareness for everyone because for years I've been in this hobby, and relatively recently I have not been checking for pH. Most of the time, for years and upon years, as long as I did water changes, it stayed at the same level. So I never had a reason to check. But now I'm wanting to make some pH awareness because there's different parts of the country where a storm, hurricane, ice melting, snow melting can affect the pH in the local water supply. So it's very important. So the pH in this aquarium right now is around 7.9. That is really good. I've done really well with the Frontosas in that. So I'll be monitoring it every time I show you an aquarium. I'll show you and tell you the pH of that particular aquarium. So let's go to the next aquarium and show you what I got going on. So we move on to the second aquarium. This aquarium has recently gotten some substrate buffer added to it, and the fish are just looking great. Look at the blues and purples coming out of these fish. Just looking great. There's one that's a little roughed up right there in the center of the screen. He was in a different aquarium and I moved him to a safer spot. Look at the blues and coloration of these Frontosas. I recently added the substrate buffer to the aquarium, and the blues and whites and purples are just coming out of this aquarium like crazy. Very impressed with the change and how the fish are acting and the colors they're putting off. Very impressed. Now, I would not recommend having this many Frontosas in this size tank, but as long as you do good water quality care, keeping your pH great and checking for all your ammonias and nitrites and nitrates, then it should be just fine. Eventually though, some of these will have to go to either another aquarium or a bigger aquarium. Either way, there's one that's a little roughed up there. You see in the center of the screen, he was being picked on in a different aquarium, and he's been healing up in this aquarium and doing just fine. It'll take him a little bit longer to heal up, but look at the blues and the whites. They're just coming out. So we're looking at some good stuff here. Doing great. I actually expect some breeding in this aquarium eventually. All the Frontosas I have are about the same age. And in the future aquarium I'm going to show you here in just a little bit, I show you can happen with this many Frontosas in the aquarium. It's quite unreal. I didn't think it could happen. Check out the blues in these fish though. They're looking great. Now I was thinking that my Frontosas may not be as top notch as others, but if you look at the blues coming out in this aquarium and compare it to others, then these are not subpar. These are outstanding Frontosas. Alright, let me tell you the pH of this aquarium, and we'll move on. So the pH is kind of surprising in this aquarium. I just recently did a massive water change, add the substrate buffer, but the pH is looking at 7.4. So what we're going to do is make sure I'm going to take time to make sure the next few days I check the pH. See if the buffer actually has an effect on the pH, because it should bring it up just a little bit. But I may have to do another massive water change. But the fish are looking good. Everything's doing fine. So we're not in the danger zone right yet. But I want it to be at least 7.8. I want to be around 7.8, 7.9, 7.7. Around what my tap water is. So we'll take a closer look at this in the future on the pH for this aquarium. So we'll move on to the next Frontosa aquarium. So in this aquarium we're looking at the massive alpha male Herman. Changers in the cave, and I'm going to do a little bit of shrimp feeding. Just to remind any new viewers what I feed my Frontosas and how I help to keep my aquariums healthier and my pH more stable. This aquarium right now is kind of surprising. The pH is only 7.4 in this aquarium as well. I figured that the biggest aquarium I had, which has not really had any water changes in about 3 weeks, this one has just been done a few days ago, and it is at 7.4. So anything that's below 7.8 is going to have an increase in water changes to get the pH up at an acceptable level for Frontosa breeding and just for the overall health of the Frontosa fish. So let's put some shrimp in there and get some shrimp feeding action going. Now I only use the raw deveined shrimp, and Herman really loves it. You see him gulping it down, taking it in. Now Changer should come out and get that piece. There she is. Let's see if she gets that. I may have to move a piece over, so let me stop it right now and move it closer to the cave. Alright, got it closer to the cave for her. I think she'll get it. Maybe have to move it just a little bit. Nope, here she goes. Let me get, yeah, if she gets it, then I won't move it. She's getting the shrimp closer to the cave. Doing good. It does best when she pulls it actually into the cave, because Herman acts like a hog and we'll get anything that's seen by his eyes. Kangaroo's doing fine now. She's healed up from the eye fungus. It's all healed up, no problems there. She's gaining weight. We're on the road to success on the breeding of these two fish. And we'll move on to the next aquarium. Let's see her get another bite or two. There she goes. Alright, let's move on to the next aquarium, and I'll tell you the pH. So the coloration of these Frontosas in this particular aquarium are looking as amazing as well. Look at the blues come out, looking really good. A lot of algae in the back of the aquarium. I have the light on in this aquarium for about 12 hours a day. Actually, that's how long it is, 12 hours a day. So there's a lot of algae that grows. They're doing great, good coloration, good health, no problems, looking really healthy. They've been moving some sand around, so it's possible there could be some breeding action happening in this aquarium in the near future. Now, as far as the pH in this aquarium, we're looking at 7.4, and this aquarium just had a water change. So next week I'm doing a little bit of buffering, adding to the aquariums as substrate buffers each week. I'm buying a little bit at a time. So I'll be adding some more substrate buffer to this aquarium next week. Looks like we're going to have to do some more water changes on this aquarium. It looks to be like that smaller aquariums does not have as much buffering capacity as the bigger aquariums, because we're looking at 7.4 pH in this aquarium. Not really where I want it. So we're going to get some buffering substrate in this, do some water changes, get them even better shape than they are now. This is not an amazing aquarium, but fish are amazing. They're good, amazing coloration. So the next aquarium, which is the big, it's got the bad, the ugly, and the good all into one, I'm going to show you next. So make sure you stay tuned for this. It's coming right up. Alright, I have several things to point out in this aquarium. Number one, the substrate was just added today. It's a little bit cloudy in the aquarium. Number two, if you've never seen a Frontosa with bloat, which I've not had any issues in 9 years until this aquarium, this is the one that almost crashed a few weeks back, then the one in the back of the aquarium has gotten either organ failure or bloat. It could be both, but I'm not really thinking it will survive. I am putting aloe vera in there for it to survive. I don't believe in taking the fish out and poking it. I don't think I would do a good job of if it has trapped gas. I don't feel comfortable about doing that. Seems like I'm kind of torturing the fish, so I'm not going to do that. That is the bad part. Good part is Frontosas are looking good. Coloration's great. And let me zoom in a little bit more on this particular Frontosa. This Frontosa, through all the trials in this aquarium, is actually holding. Which is very surprising, because this Frontosa aquarium is actually very overcrowded. But she's holding. And another thing is, I would have not even recognized her for sure as a female. But she's holding. It's a really good sign. And I checked the pH. And for this particular aquarium, it's looking good at 7.8. So things are recovering really good in this aquarium. So the focus would be keeping these Frontosas looking healthy, keeping them breeding, keeping water quality good, and hopefully helping this guy out. I mean, he was one of my favorite males. Now, I've been in a hatchery before. I worked in a hatchery for over a year and a half, a saltwater hatchery. Sometimes this can be caused by organ failure occasionally, but it looks to be like it may be bloat. So I've gone to all shrimp feedings, so there should be no problem with that. But in my experience, I think there was a little bit more to it than just the food being eaten at the top of the aquarium, because in my 9 years of having Frontosas, only in this aquarium have I ever had any Frontosas to have bloat. So it may have been a combination of where the resistance gets down or something. I don't know, because the water quality was not really good there about a month or two ago. So I'm not sure. I don't expect this guy to make it, but I want to make sure I showed you. Do not use floating pellets. I don't also care for the sinking ones, but that's alright, because I do think that they make more waste build up. But if you're doing plenty of water changes, that shouldn't be an issue. I do like live foods. You got your mysis shrimp, you got your shrimp, you got your krill, you got all types of frozen shrimp you can get. I mean, frozen foods you can get, as well as you can get some things from the grocery store. So think about spending the extra little money and make sure that your fish don't turn out like this. This was Master Chief. I don't know if you remember that name or not. He was a really impressive looking male until recently. So maybe he'll recover, maybe not. We'll see. I'll give you updates on him. I got one little ending statement, and then that will finish it up. So the reason I put a big focus on pH, that's going to be kind of my focus. It's going to be my what our mission is, to have more of a pH awareness. People that's been in the hobby for a long time, for years, kind of sometimes lose interest in the pH. But we don't need to lose interest in the pH. You can tell us things other than just the pH. When the pH is going down, the ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate may be fine, but the decay, where the bacteria is breaking down food matter, it can drop the pH. pH awareness is very important to be aware of, and I will hope to do that in future videos. Thanks again for watching Frontosa Cichlids and more. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time.